You spill coffee on your shirt before a meeting, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth, or at least into your head, is some variation of, "God, I'm such an idiot. Why am I like this? I can't do anything right." Your friend spills coffee on their shirt. "Oh no, that sucks. Don't worry, it happens to everyone. Here, I have a Tide pen." Notice the difference? You extend grace, patience, and problem-solving to literally everyone else in your life. But when it comes to you, you're a courtroom prosecutor going for the death penalty over a coffee stain. And it's not just coffee, it's everything. You bomb a presentation. "I'm a failure. I should just quit." You forget to text someone back. "I'm the worst friend. They probably hate me." You eat the second cookie. No self-control. Disgusting. You make one parenting mistake. "I'm ruining my kid. They'll need therapy because of me." The cruelty is automatic, instant, like you've got a mean girl living in your head with a microphone and she never shuts up. And here's the part that's going to make you uncomfortable. You've been listening to her for so long, you think she's telling the truth. Most people walk around thinking their thoughts are just thoughts, neutral observations, facts about reality. But they're not. Your inner voice, that running commentary narrating your entire life, has a tone, a perspective, a bias. And for most of us, it's not a kind one. Studies on self-talk show that the average person has somewhere between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And for most people, up to 80% of those thoughts are negative, and 95% are repetitive. So you're not just thinking cruel things about yourself occasionally. You're running the same brutal script on a loop, all day, every day, for years. "I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. Nobody really likes me. I'm too much, or not enough. I should be further along by now." And here's what makes this dangerous. Your brain doesn't know the difference between you criticizing yourself and someone else criticizing you. The same neural pathways fire, the same stress hormones release, the same emotional damage happens. When you call yourself stupid, your brain experiences it the same way it would if your boss called you stupid. When you tell yourself you're worthless, it lands the same as if your parent said it. Except worse, because you can't escape you. You can leave the room when someone else is cruel. You can't leave your own head. That voice follows you everywhere. To bed, to work, to the shower. To every moment you're trying to enjoy something and it whispers, "Yeah, but remember that thing you said 3 years ago that was awkward?" And the cruelest part? You think you deserve it. You think harsh self-talk is just being realistic or holding yourself accountable or not letting yourself off the hook. But what it actually is? Abuse. You're just the one doing it. You weren't born talking to yourself like this. Watch a toddler fall down. They don't go, "Wow, I'm such a clumsy piece of garbage." They just get back up and keep going, or they cry for comfort. And then they move on. Somewhere between childhood and now, you learned that being hard on yourself was necessary. Protective, even. Maybe you had parents who criticized you constantly, and you internalized their voice. Now it's your voice. You're doing their job for them. Maybe you grew up in a culture that values achievement and perfection, and anything less than excellence meant you were lazy. So you learned to crack the whip on yourself before anyone else could. Maybe you were bullied as a kid, and you figured if you insulted yourself first, it would hurt less when someone else did it. Beat them to the punch. Control the narrative. Maybe you had a teacher, a coach, a mentor who told you that tough love was how you got better. That coddling yourself would make you weak. That you needed to be harder on yourself to succeed. So you learned that self-criticism equals self-improvement. That if you're not constantly tearing yourself apart, you'll get lazy, complacent, mediocre. But let me ask you something, and I mean this genuinely. Has being cruel to yourself ever actually made your life better? Has calling yourself an idiot ever made you smarter? Has calling yourself fat ever made you healthier? Has calling yourself a failure ever made you more successful? Or has it just made you tired, anxious, paralyzed with shame and self-loathing? Because here's what the research actually shows. Negative self-talk doesn't motivate you. It shuts you down. It increases anxiety, decreases performance, and makes you more likely to give up. Self-compassion, the thing you think is soft or letting yourself off the hook, actually leads to better outcomes. More resilience, more motivation, more willingness to try again after failure. Turns out, you don't need to hate yourself into improvement. You never did. If you had a friend who followed you around all day and said the things you say to yourself, you'd cut them off, block their number, tell people they were toxic. But because it's your own voice, you just tolerate it. You let it run the show, and it's running more than you think. Your inner voice doesn't just affect your mood, it affects your decisions, your relationships, your entire perception of reality. When your self-talk is harsh, you see the world through that lens. Someone doesn't text you back. They must hate you. You don't get the promotion. You're not good enough and never will be. Your partner seems distant. They're probably going to leave you because you're too broken to love. You're not responding to reality. You're responding to the cruel narrator in your head who's convinced you that everything is your fault and you're fundamentally flawed. And that voice affects your body too. Chronic negative self-talk keeps your nervous system in fight or flight mode. Your cortisol stays elevated. Your immune system weakens. Your digestion suffers. Your sleep tanks. You're literally making yourself sick with the way you talk to yourself. And the people around you, they can feel it. When you hate yourself, you show up differently. You're defensive. You can't accept compliments. You apologize for existing. You overcompensate or withdraw. You reject love because you don't believe you're worthy of it. Your inner voice isn't just hurting you. It's shaping how you move through the world. And right now, it's making you smaller, quieter, and more afraid than you need to be. Okay, here's where I'm going to give you something practical. Not some vague, be nicer to yourself advice that sounds good but feels impossible. This is the actual process, and it works. But only if you do it. Step 1. Catch the insult. You can't change what you don't notice. So for the next 24 hours, I want you to pay attention, genuinely pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Every time you mess up, make a mistake, look in the mirror, compare yourself to someone else, or feel like you're failing. Notice what you say. Don't judge it. Don't try to change it yet. Just notice it. Write it down if you can, in your notes app, on a post-it, somewhere. I'm so stupid. I look terrible. Nobody likes me. I always screw things up. Just collect the data. See how often it happens. See how harsh it actually is. Step 2. Ask yourself the friend test. Once you've caught the insult, ask yourself this simple question. Would I say this to my best friend? If your best friend came to you and said, I messed up at work today, would you respond with, yeah, you're an idiot and you're probably going to get fired because you're incompetent? No. You'd say something like, that sucks, but everyone messes up. What can you do differently next time? So, why the double standard? Step 3. Rewrite it. Now here's the work. Take that harsh thought and rewrite it with the same compassion you'd give someone you love. Harsh. I'm so stupid for forgetting that meeting. Rewrite. I forgot the meeting. That was a mistake, but I'm human and I can reschedule. Harsh. I'm disgusting for eating that entire pizza. Rewrite. I was hungry and I ate more than I planned. That's okay. I can eat lighter tomorrow. Harsh. I'm a terrible parent for losing my temper. Rewrite. I lost my temper. I was overwhelmed. I can apologize and do better next time. Notice the difference? You're not pretending the mistake didn't happen. You're not lying to yourself. You're just removing the character assassination. You're separating the behavior from your identity. You forgot a meeting. That doesn't make you stupid. You ate too much. That doesn't make you disgusting. You lost your temper. That doesn't make you a terrible parent. Step 4. Repeat it out loud. This is going to feel weird. Do it anyway. Say the rewritten version out loud. In the mirror if you can, or just to yourself in the car, wherever. Your brain needs to hear the new script in your actual voice, not just as a thought, as a statement of fact. The more you repeat it, the more your brain starts to accept it as true. You're literally rewiring neural pathways, creating new patterns, building a new default voice. This isn't manifestation. This isn't woo-woo. This is neuroscience, neuroplasticity. Your brain can change, your inner voice can change, but you have to practice the new one. Everyone talks about self-care like it's face masks and bubble baths and expensive candles from Target. And sure, those things are nice, but they're not going to fix the problem if the voice in your head is still telling you that you're garbage. Real self-care is changing the way you speak to yourself. It's catching the cruelty and refusing to let it run unchecked. It's choosing, actively choosing, to extend yourself the same kindness you'd give anyone else. Because here's the truth. You're listening to yourself more than anyone else. Your inner voice is the most consistent voice in your life. It's there when you wake up, when you go to bed, and every moment in between. If that voice is cruel, your life will feel cruel. If it's kind, everything softens. Not because your circumstances change, but because your relationship with yourself changes. And that changes everything. You don't have to love yourself perfectly right now. You don't have to look in the mirror and think you're amazing. You just have to stop being so goddamn mean to yourself. That's the bar. And it's lower than you think. I've shown you mine. Now show me yours. What's one harsh thing you tell yourself regularly? The thing that shows up when you mess up, when you look in the mirror, when you compare yourself to others. Type it in the comments, word for word, no softening it. And then, right underneath it, rewrite it. The kind version, the version you'd say to someone you love. Let's practice this together, out loud, in public, because the shame thrives in silence, and we're done with that. And if you see someone else's comment, reply with kindness. Reinforce their rewrite. Show them what it looks like when someone else speaks to them the way they should speak to themselves. We're reprogramming together, from the inside out. And if this hit you in the chest, hit subscribe, because we're doing this work every week, learning how to be human without hating ourselves for it. You deserve gentler words, especially from yourself.